The fading bloom of kindness.
In this bewildering modern epoch, where the cacophony of commerce and the incessant clamor of self-interest seem to drown out the more gentle melodies of human connection, one might be forgiven for observing, with a measure of melancholic resignation, a perceptible dearth of what we might term, without excessive sentimentality, acts of genuine kindness.
Indeed, it often strikes one as a truth almost universally acknowledged that the milk of human kindness appears to be curdling, or at the very least, remarkably thinned in the vast ocean of our collective experience.
One is compelled to cast a critical eye upon the prevailing currents of our age.
We live in an era where the cult of individualism has truly come into its own, often at the expense of communal solidarity.
Every man, it seems, is an island, and not always one upon which a weary traveler might find succor or a sympathetic ear.
The hustle and bustle of urban existence, a relentless race against time and tide, often leaves individuals feeling beleaguered and beleaguering in equal measure.
Consequently, the spontaneous gesture, the unbidden act of generosity that springs from a pure heart, seems to have become a rare and precious commodity, almost a curio from a bygone age.
It is not, of course, to suggest that kindness has entirely vanished from the face of the earth.
Such a pronouncement would be both uncharitable and demonstrably false.
One still encounters with heartening regularity instances of profound altruism, moments when individuals go out of their way to lend a helping hand, to offer a word of comfort, or to make a tangible difference in the lives of others.
These scattered oases, however, merely serve to underscore the vast desert of indifference that so often stretches around them. It is as if these acts, once the common currency of social interaction, have been relegated to the realm of the exceptional, the praiseworthy anomaly rather than the expected norm.
The question then arises, what accounts for this apparent decline?
One might point to the pervasive influence of technology, which, while undoubtedly a boon in many respects, has also fostered a peculiar form of disconnected connection. We are constantly in touch, yet often profoundly alone. The digital realm, with its carefully curated personas and often vitriolic discourse, can hardly be said to cultivate the fertile ground in which empathy and benevolence might flourish. Moreover, the relentless pursuit of material gain, often glorified and held up as the ultimate measure of success, tends to overshadow the more subtle, yet ultimately more fulfilling rewards of a life lived with generosity of spirit.
Furthermore, there is the insidious effect of cynicism, which, like a creeping vine, seems to entangle many a well-intentioned impulse.
One often hears the weary sigh, the dismissive shrug, the muttered suspicion that any act of kindness must surely be accompanied by some ulterior motive.
This pervasive mistrust, a corrosive byproduct of a society that has, perhaps, been too often disappointed, serves to stifle the very impulses that might otherwise lead to a more compassionate world. It creates a climate where to be overtly kind is almost to invite suspicion, to be seen as naive or, worse still, calculating.
In conclusion,
Whilst one would hesitate to succumb entirely to a pessimistic worldview, it remains undeniable that acts of unadulterated kindness, devoid of expectation or agenda, appear to be in increasingly short supply. To rectify this lamentable state of affairs would require a fundamental re-evaluation of our priorities, a conscious effort to look beyond the immediate gratification of self-interest, and a renewed commitment to fostering the bonds of community. For as the old adage wisely reminds us, what goes around comes around. And surely, a society that sows the seeds of kindness is far more likely to reap a harvest of happiness and genuine human flourishing.
Thank you for listening to English Audio Lounge. We hope you have enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more audio stories and video classes to improve your English.